Welcome to another episode of Words of Wisdom. I'm your host, Minerva Maharajh. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Today, we'll be talking about 3 pillars for a freedom-filled year. These 3 pillars, I recommend that you build this into your life and it will change it forever. This is what I've learned, this is what I've integrated, and this is what I will continue integrating into my life moving forward. They have worked for me in experiencing freedom in every area of my life, in my business, in money, in my relationship, in my family life, my personal life, and overall my sense of well-being. And so I want to share them with you. And I believe that when you integrate this, you're not going to look back. They're going to be must-haves that you can't go without. So pull out that pen and paper because you know I love giving away some juicy information. And I just want to take a moment to thank all our listeners, everyone who screenshots this and tags me, everyone who sends me personal messages. It just means so much to me because I really download these messages and what I share, and I put my heart and soul into this because my mission is to help you live your impossible, not just reach it, but live it. And your impossible is living heaven on earth. It's your soul's desires, what your soul is yearning to live here on earth. And that is my job. That is my mission, to help you achieve that with ease and flow. So I just want to thank you for taking the time to listen because this is precious time. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if this resonates, and for those who have already left a review, thank you so much. And if this resonates with you, I really would appreciate a review or a screenshot and tag me at Goddess of Wisdom Coach so that we can get this message out to others to help others reach their impossible and live it. So let's get to it. 3 pillars for a freedom-filled year. Pillar number 1, create a schedule with time and space. Create a schedule with time and space. I think this is something that we all want, or at least most of us want, is more time and space, more ease, more relaxation. And we tend to go about it the old wounded way, the old conditioned way that society tells us: work hard now, sleep later, rest later, work hard, and then you deserve rest, then you deserve a break. And I'm here to say that doesn't always work. At least it didn't work for me. And I think that's the old way of being. And we tend to work really hard so that we can have time for vacation. We can have time later on to spend with our friends spend with our family and friends. But we have this mindset that I need to do and go hard now and work hard now so that I can have that time, space, and freedom later. But I don't believe you actually reach that if you're not feeling that now, not feeling that sense of freedom now. Because I also believe you can't achieve that if you're doing it from a place of force and of burnout and of fear. So I believe you need to create that schedule of time and space now. So you need to start small. So I'm going to give you some examples here. So just say, for example, you don't want to work weekends. Stop working on weekends. You tell your boss, I'm not available. You tell your clients, I don't work on weekends. You put it in your contract. You are very clear of your hours of operation, whether you are self-employed or you are employed for someone else. You let them know what your boundaries are. So you start saying no and you reserve weekends. Also, another thing to do is if you want to have Fridays off. So for me, for example, I used to take half days on Fridays off, and then I moved to full Fridays off. So Fridays is for me and my daughter. And so I'm not saying that you need to make a big drastic change right now, but there are always little steps that you can be taking now. And I get it, starting your own business, you do have to put that time and effort into it. But I think that's even more of an opportunity right now to build in the time and space in your schedule because you have the freedom. Us entrepreneurs have the freedom to do that. We left that 9-to-5 job for a reason. So you can build that into your schedule now. So when I started working, I was going hard Monday to Friday, even on weekends. And there was a point that, it's fun because it's such joyous work. But for me, being a human design manifester, I can only go for so long. I can get burnt out really easily. So once I started creating that time and space into my schedule, starting small and then building up to it, I now have that schedule that I love. I don't work on weekends. I take the whole day Fridays off. If I work, that's because I want to. If I study, I normally, during my daughter's nap, I take that time to study and do what I want for me. And then I work half days Mondays. And I love that. I do a little bit of what I want to do in the morning of on Mondays to get the week started and organized, have my me time, exercise, meditate. I spend the rest of the day with my daughter. When she's in bed, then I schedule some other meetings if I have to. And then I work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. And I love that. That's my schedule. And I thrive in that because I have that time to, first of all, I book off that time. Even on my work days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, I book off my embodiment time. So just like we book in our appointments, our children's appointments, our client meetings, our work meetings, and we book that into our calendar, I now block off my embodiment time from 9 to 10. And then some days I give myself the 2 hours or whatever I need. I have the freedom, but I put it into my schedule. I create that time and space now. So if you're feeling like you don't have the control or the power to do that, I highly encourage you to look at that to see who is it that's blocking off that time, who is it that's saying yes, who is it that is not saying no. So you have the power to start creating that time and space in your schedule now. And you could, if you have the freedom to make those bigger leaps and be very firm that I do not work on Fridays, I do not work on weekends, go ahead and do that now. If you need to make tinier steps, that's okay too. But the point is you need to start that time and space now, create that freedom now in your schedule, because then it's never going to happen. If you keep saying yes to everything else and everyone else, and really in your heart, really in your energy, you are feeling like, oh, this is so much. I'm feeling burnt out. I'm feeling bogged down. When will I have that time? You're never going to get there from here. You're never going to get to that point of freedom if you don't feel that sense of freedom now. So there are little things you can do, like hire, delegate, delete things that are not important. For example, I hired a babysitter when my daughter was, it seems like a century ago now, but when she was really young, I hired one. It was really scary. Also just, my due diligence, and that's a whole other story, but I found a beautiful, lovely babysitter. But financially and in my mind, there were so many things I had to overcome. So financially, I made small steps towards that, but I wasn't necessarily in a place because I took time off and I had a little short mat leave. But for me, being self-employed, I didn't have that backup of my own maternity pay. So I made those changes, but I hired a babysitter. And as I'm saying this, I realize everyone I've hired before I was actually ready, in a sense of when you think you're ready, when you have a certain amount of money, when you have the time, when you're at a certain place, then you'll do that. I did all of that stuff. I made those changes. I found that support before I was quote unquote ready. And so by doing that and hiring this babysitter to be with my daughter, who I trusted in our home, it gave me that time and space. It gave me that freedom to, number one, replenish myself, and number two, use that time for self-development, for business development, to then be at a point where in that time and space I created to elevate myself, to elevate my business, and have my business and my family and my lifestyle in a place where I can say we have true freedom, and it just keeps growing from there. So again, you cannot get there from here if where you are here right now is in place of burnout, of force, and of fear. You need to be in a place of freedom now, and you have the power to start creating that in your schedule now. So what are you going to do to start create space and freedom in your schedule now? What do you need to let go of? What do you need to delegate? Where can you hire? What support can you call in? And know that in that space, that investment, if you're giving yourself, number one, that energy and that replenishment, and help raise your vibration. And you know me by now. It's all about energy. It's all about frequency. And you are attracting based on the frequency that you are emitting right now. So if you are in a frequency of stress, of fear, of worry, of lack, that's what you're going to emit. That's what you're going to build your life and business upon. So how can you get into a space? How can you create more space and freedom in your schedule now? Do it now. Block it off in your Google Calendar right now. Number 2, hire a coach. Hire a coach. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a coach. I'm not even saying you have to hire me. Yeah, that's not what it's about. All greats have coaches. Everyone, I believe, should have a coach. All of the great changes, all of the biggest transformations of my life have always come from hiring support. Reiki master, doing energy work, hiring a life coach, a spiritual coach, a business coach. And you always have 2 choices. You could do it by yourself. You could say, I can't afford it. I don't need it. And sure, maybe you don't need to hire, maybe you don't want to hire one. Just know the results will be slower. They will be harder. And often I find little to no results when you're trying to trial and error it yourself, and it will take longer to get to what it is you really want. Now, with a coach, I love this quote of, it helps successful people be more successful. It advances you. It accelerates you. You see exponential results. And I always say to my students, because I teach at a life coaching school, that all coaches should have coaches. You can't go any deeper than you can't take your clients any deeper than you've gone yourself. And so when you have a coach, you have someone there to not only hold space for you, to help you clear out the resistance, to help see things you cannot see when you are in it. And that is one thing I have built into my budget. Before, it seemed like a luxury. Or when I make more money, then I'll hire a business coach. When I get more money, then I'll hire X, Y, or Z. But like I mentioned before, all of these big investments, I can't say truthfully that I had all the money in cash up front. I made adjustments. I made the investment. I asked for support where needed. I made it happen, even if it meant to go on credit cards or whatever. I made it happen. And by doing that, I created more space, more freedom, more abundance by making these investments. So what I'm trying to say is these investments were not always an easy decision. It always felt a little scary. There was a risk involved, but I'm not in any way saying make any irresponsible decisions like sell your house or whatever, although I know some people who have done that. But I hope you get what I'm saying in a reasonable way. I always say it's like an 80-20. So 80% you can plan it, you can organize. If you want it bad enough, you will figure out a way. It's about prioritizing. Where is your money going? And I see people who say, I can't afford a coach, but then you see them go on trips. You see them buy TVs. You see them buy the purses. They buy shoes. It's a matter of priority and what is important to you. And when it's important to you, you will find a way. So for me, it's a non-negotiable. Just like it's important for me to pay the electricity bill, it's just as important for me to pay my coaching bill when I hire a coach. So that is something I have built into my schedule, and I believe that is something you need to have in order to go to the next level with faster and with effective results. And really, I feel like all the work I have done on a personal level, there's no going back. So I feel versus when you're doing it on your own, you can revert back to old ways. Not to say you cannot go back to your old ways after working with a professional, but in my experience, you're just on this trajectory that there's no way to go back. And so I think it takes a certain person to be committed to their personal growth. And those are my peeps. And I just don't think you will ever regret it. You regret more paying for a purse or paying for whatever from whatever store for your house than you would in investing in a coach. So that to me is a pillar that I believe everyone should have. There's so many coaches out there at many price points. I'll book an intro session, get to feel them out. There's so many ways to learn about them on Instagram, on YouTube, whatever. Do your due diligence. But if you really really want to get somewhere and you're struggling, clearly what you're doing is not helping, so call in support. So I hope that one resonates. Number 3. Ooh, I really love this one. So let me just do a quick recap. So number 1, the first pillar I believe you need to have in place is create a schedule of time and space right now. Number 2, hire a coach. And number 3, this is an important pillar. Now really hear me on this. Love and accept yourself unconditionally along the way. Love and accepting yourself unconditionally along the way will be life-changing. So some of you might say, oh yeah, I heard it. Love myself, accept myself, blah, blah, blah. But I think not a lot of people know what that means and don't actually implement it right here, right now. They think it's something they're going to feel or do when they achieve said goal. When they lose 30 pounds, when they start booking clients, when they find their dream job, then I'm going to love and accept myself. I'm going to be so proud of myself then. But it doesn't quite work that way. You need to start loving and accepting yourself completely, unconditionally, with no restrictions right here, right now. And it's a simple concept, but it may not be easy. And I get that. This is a work in progress. And that's why I'm saying you do this now, because there's no end. There's not one day, okay, I love and accept myself and I'm just done with that. It's an ongoing process. But when you have this pillar in place, no matter what happens in your day, in your week, in your year, so many things is coming up here. This propels you forward. It makes the journey more enjoyable. And you actually get there much faster by doing this and implementing this pillar, this value into your life, loving and accepting yourself completely as you are right now. Right now, not when you get there. It's about loving and forgiving yourself as you are trying, as you are growing, as you are learning, as you are quote unquote failing. I don't believe there's real failing. Failing is if you fail to learn from it. Loving yourself and not judging your process. Not judging and saying, this is happening too slow. I should have figured this out by now. Why is this still coming up? And being so hard on ourselves and critical of ourselves. Because on the path to where you want to be, to that destination where you want to be, you are hopefully learning and growing and evolving. And actually the way to get to that end result is that you need to be a different person, because whatever you have right now in your experience matches exactly who you are. But if you want to get to the next level, you need to get to the next level in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, in your energy. And so in that process, there's releasing of resistance. There's stuff that's going to come up, limiting beliefs, old wounds, past hurts, some traumas. And on your path, on your journey to quote unquote there's stuff that's going to come up. There's stuff you're going to have to purge. And the only thing that's really going to get you through that is love. Truly loving yourself and accepting yourself. When you're trying to lose weight, as you're building a business, as you are trying to heal your money story, as you're trying to break generational patterns, because you're exploring a lot of shadows and that's not always fun. It's a little scary. It's dark. It's deep. It's emotion provoking. And so the only thing that's going to get you through that is by learning to love and accept yourself exactly as you are, wherever you are on your journey. And you find that will get you through. Love will heal fear. Fear will not ever heal you. So you have to love yourself through it all. So learning to that practice. And it's something as simple as like looking yourself in the mirror and saying, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. I love and accept myself exactly as I am. You can do that in the mirror. You can write it down. You could be sitting at your desk and just take 30 seconds. Close your eyes, put your pen and paper down, put your phone down and just close your eyes and just breathe it in and connect your heart. Even put your hands on your heart and say, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. And really feel those words vibrate. And I always feel like, and I still do this. This is a daily practice. And every time I do this, I remember, I reconnect, I settle down, I calm down, I elevate. This is such a centering practice, and this will get you through, and is such an important foundation to have in your life, loving and accepting self exactly as you are. And those are my 3 goodies for you. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this resonates with you. So, number 1 again is create a schedule of time and space now. Number 2, hire a coach. And number 3, learn to love and accept yourself unconditionally along the way. Love and accept yourself exactly as you are now. That practice is going to get you through. So I hope this resonates with you. I truly believe in these 3 pillars. As I said, I integrated them in my life and they will never leave my life. This is what I believe created a life of freedom in every area of my life and even my sense of self. So I hope this resonates with you. I hope you take one thing away from today's episode and integrate it in this moment. And again, I just want to thank you for listening. And for those who have maybe heard about this, I am now accepting people on my waitlist for the next cohort for Live Your Impossible. If you missed out on the first cohort and you were thinking and hemming and hawing around joining, well, I'm only doing it one more time for 2021. Only a limited amount of spots. I'm only accepting 8 people, and there's a waitlist already started. The dates will be released in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. But if you join the waitlist, you will receive a $111 discount. I didn't offer that before, but I'm offering it now. It's a smaller amount of people this time. The women who are in this program right now are mind-blowing. The changes are amazing, life-shifting, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. But this is a place to be where courageous souls make their dreams a tangible reality. This is a place to be, to take your business, to take your life to the next level and create the life you want from a place of ease and flow and abundance, and not from the old conditioned way of force and fear. So if any of this resonates with you, email us at info@goddessofwisdom.com to be added to the waitlist. And as soon as we open registration, you'll be the first to know and receive that discount. So thank you again, everyone, for listening. Sending so much love and light to you.